Hey guys, welcome back to another banger video. Today I'm going to be ranking every Marvel Rivals hero based on how strong they are at the end of Season 2. And I just wanted to say that I tried my best to consider all ranks when making this tier list, but it's mostly based on Celestial plus Elo. Let's do this thing! So this is for the end of Season 2. This is kind of where every hero is ending before Ultron comes out. I'm curious to see how he changes the meta and what changes. But man, this season's meta has been awful. Majority of people have not had fun. Dive meta is horrendous right now, even with counters. There's just a lot going on, and there's a lot of strong people. So let's get this started. I guess we'll go in alphabetical order. Adam Warlock, I think, is in a better place now after his recent buffs with the headshot, being able to replenish his heals. But his soul bond is still on a really high cooldown. Overall, he's C tier. I think he can be really good in higher ranks, but I think in the lower ranks, people just don't have good enough aim to be efficient with him. Not even close, to be honest. To get value with him, you have to be able to get headshots to reduce your cooldown by a second, right? For your heals. And then you can just spam heals. If you were to go overall C tier, but if I were to go like high elo, like Grandmaster plus, like probably like a solid B. But overall, I would say probably C tier. Black Panther. In my opinion, the worst duelist this season. The worst by far. I would say even worse than Black Widow. I have been fucking shit on by some Black Widows in like low eternity lobbies, like high celestial. But with Black Panther, all you do is switch to the thing and he's done so. Like, people don't believe me, but I tell people in my comments all the time. I swap anytime we're going against a good BP. I ask someone else to go like main frontline tank because I usually play like Emma, Groot, Strange, Mag, and then I swap to Thing and I peel like crazy. If you have a Thing that can pay attention to your backline, he's all it takes, and he just shuts BP down. You're E to your teammate, you slam, and he can't fucking move. And then you punch him once, one or two other teammates focus him, and he's dead. I would say I think BP is D tier this season. That's not even including the fact that his resets are glitched. Like, you'll get hits and you'll get your markers on the enemy, and even if you hit your dashes, you don't get your reset. So his kit's glitched. It feels clunky. He's super easy. He just has so many counters this season. By far the worst. Coming here at the end of season 2, so I'll put him at D tier. Widow, I'll put kind of with Adam. I've actually played her a couple times recently, and she's kind of fun. She's kind of fun to play, but I'm gonna have to put her in C tier just because it is mechanically really hard to get value with her, and you also have to know how to position and play around dive. You know, you have to know how to use your kit to counter when you're being dove, right? Because she kind of can counter dive players, but only for herself, not like for the team. Like, she's kind of like Rocket in that way, where like Rocket's not really countering dive by peeling for the team or helping the team. I mean, other than like, I guess, healing, but he can get away and he can survive. And it's the same thing with Widow. She can stun lock the fuck out of somebody and ignore them or shoot them in the head. So really good at helping herself, but definitely C tier. Hulk, oh man, Hulk this season, I feel like Hulk is an A, especially with the team up. He's a really strong dive tank, and then when you have that team up active, with Iron Man or Namor, I think he gets that extra health bonus, right? And then they also reduce some of his cooldowns, so like he's more mobile. He can spam his shields because they reduce the cooldown on that too. And he feels really strong this season. He feels really solid. And I bet people in the lower ranks too are having way more fun with them than they used to, because those cooldowns like can just bail them out of the worst plays. Captain America. Oh man, Captain America gives me a fucking headache. Nickname Mr. Immortal. I put him S or A. The OTPs, you know, fucking Japanese Curry and all the other guys. They're having a blast. I think Cap is definitely A tier this season. Mr. Immortal. This guy does not fucking die. Holy shit, he's so hard to kill. Like, I would say like it's pretty hard to kill a Cap without an Emma. I feel like the only other ways are like invis, pulling him back, having like a good Iron Fist. But Cap's shield works different than the other shield tanks because I don't think it's penetrable by melees. But man, he's so fucking hard to kill, and he's so mobile. He's definitely got to be A tier. Mr. Immortal. Cloak. Okay, this is weird. I feel like in season 1.5, I didn't see Cloak at all in season 1.5. And now I feel like I see her almost every game. And I feel like there's one or two reasons for that. Before, she probably wasn't really as strong. Before, I would say maybe she was like a B or a C. Maybe even like C tier healer. Like, she's always been a good support, but before, her ult, the timing on it would start ticking the minute she ulted. But they changed it now. Her ult's now the longest lasting ultimate in the game, because the timer for it to go away doesn't stop until all 4 dashes have completed. Where before, the timer would start after the first dash. So by the time you get done with that last dash, the ult would only be up for like 5 seconds and then it would be gone. She's also really good for anti-dive. Dive is really common this season. You've got Hulk, Cap, Iron Fist, freaking Magik, BP. You've got flanking Namors, Psylocke, Spider-Man, Venom, Wolverine, Thor. Definitely, she has a really good kit for blinding people, getting the team out, and just good survivability. And on top of that, her healing output's really like pretty crazy. So, nah, yeah, she's got to be A tier. I feel like most of the other supports, like Invis and Luna, might be a little bit better than her. We might move her down. We'll see. Strange, Strange was like my first lord, or actually no, Psylocke was. Strange was my first tank lord. He's got a special place in my heart because he used to be so fun to play. He was so good as a solo tank, and now he's just not. He's got to be B tier, but he is better than he was before with that ultimate change. Now he can ult more because he generates, they reduce the cost for his ult, so he can get his ult faster and more frequently, allowing him, you know, to make more plays for the team and stuff like that. But I think just in comparison to the other tanks, do we put him in A for the portal? I feel like that's the only reason people use him this season is for the team up and for the portal. But the team up doesn't necessarily make him good. It makes Scarlet good. I'm gonna put him in B just because I feel like there's other tanks that just get more value. Emma Frost. Emma Frost is S tier. I have the most hours on Emma this season, easily. 35 hours. And I'm a top 500 Emma Frost player. I'm not top 500 in rank, but I'm top 500 of all the people who play Emma Frost. And she's so strong. She's so strong. She is counterable, right? Like Punisher and Mr. Fantastic and all those people that can hit through shields are very, very annoying. Groot counters her because she can't build charge off of destroying his walls, and she doesn't really have a lot of mobility without wasting her diamond form. But even then, man, she does so much fucking damage. She blocks a lot of damage. She's a great playmaker. She's good at surviving. She's good at peeling. And then in this dive meta, she's just very, very impressive. So definitely S tier, and as well as Groot. Groot is S tier, always banned. Like, honestly, in the games where he's not banned, I have the least fun. And I'm Lord on Groot. I play Groot. But in the games that he's not banned, I feel like I always get stuck with the team with people that don't know how to shoot Groot walls. Because if you know how to shoot Groot walls, right? If you get a Punisher, if you get a Rocket team up, if you get like strange Scarlet Witch, an Iron Man, Squirrel Girl, just anybody who can actually focus down the walls, it's not that bad. He's really not that impressive. You gotta like look out for his ult, position properly, make sure you don't get caught out too far. But even then, if you're playing in like a combo scenario, first off, he does a shit ton of damage and he blocks off heals and all that stuff. But in combo scenario, I played a game once where I was Emma. Invis on the other team, when I would be done with diamond form, would pull me, and then Groot would wall me off, and then Emma would grab me and then kick me even further into the back line. And that can be comboed with Bucky and Wolf too. And it's just, like, Groot is just, he's so strong. He needs to be, the nerf on his Ironwood wall, taking it down 100 HP was not enough. It was a decent change, but just he's so strong. It almost feels like it wasn't that much of a change at all. Hawkeye. A good Hawkeye is scary. But that's the problem, though, is you have to hit your shots for it to count for anything. And I feel like because of that, it's B tier. The reason why he's above Widow is because he can one-shot, whereas Widow can't without Mantis or without any kind of damage amp, like from Storm or anything. But in the lower ranks, you know, people don't really have that good aim. I'll probably get some bronze players being like, my Hawkeye's cold. What do you mean? I dropped 40. And it's like, bro, you drop 40 on people who like have their backs turned to you like 90% of the time, and they're just like standing still. It's not really that impressive. But a good Hawkeye in high elo is fucking scary. Like, hide your kids, hide your wives, get behind the wall, put up your strange shield, your mag shield. Bro, when I'm going against a Hawkeye and I'm on mag, if he's really the only person with the projectiles, when he ults, I'm ulting. I'm like, I'm not taking the chance. I'm not taking the chance. He can ult, but all his arrows are going up into my, and then I try and kill him because I fucking want him out of the game. Okay, that being said, Hela is S tier. Easily, Hela is S tier. No damage fall off. Even if you don't have good aim, you just get body shots. It's like 3 body shots to kill a squishy. It's stupid. She does so much damage. Her ult is really good. It does a lot of damage. She has a good escape tool. She has a stun ability, like your E. You could throw that at a Strange that's ulting. You could throw that at a Scarlet Witch that's ulting. Anybody that can be CC'd out of their ult, Hela can do it too, which is crazy. It is a little harder to land because it's like a low, like, arching projectile. But if you're aware of it, you know, you can stop it pretty easily. She does too much damage to not be good, and she gets banned a lot for a reason. But she doesn't get banned as much as Human Torch. Human Torch is ridiculous. The other day, I think, was I 4 stacking or 6 stacking with my team that we're practicing for MRC? I don't play Human Torch. They had a torch, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I diffed the fuck out of that guy. And I play tank and DPS, so I'm not like a terrible DPS. I know what he takes, but holy shit, he just does so much damage and has so much impact. And I MVP'd easily. Like, diffed the hell out of their torch, was annoying the shit out of their team, and my flame prisons sucked. I was using my abilities terribly in GM, and I think that says a lot. Like, it's so easy to get value with him if you're not stupid. He's entirely too strong. He needs to be nerfed. Invisible Woman. Yo, Invisible Woman's low-key cracked. I used to say it last season. I think it's a little bit different now. I think with some recent changes on some of the other supports, some might rank higher than her, but I think last season, season 1.5, she was by far the best support. She had the team up with any Fantastic Four member, which gives her, I think, 10% healing bonus, on top of the fact that she can do insane amounts of damage and healing at the same time. She has a perma Luna clap where she can heal and do damage at the same time to whoever's within a certain area or a line. Her orb is really good for just doing tick damage, breaking shields, getting flyers out of the air, breaking penny nests. She's got her push pull. Her ult is obviously really strong as well, comboing with people like Scarlet Witch. She's just extremely strong. She's better than Cloak, in my opinion. I think overall, in terms of like healing output, I think a good Invisible Woman can by far, especially with the team up, can by far out heal a Cloak and Dagger. But a Cloak and Dagger has more strategic play. Iron Fist. I'm gonna put him in A. He's very strong. He's like extremely annoying, and a good Iron Fist is very hard to kill because they time their blocks perfectly, and then it gives him shield, and then he just kicks out. But as an Emma player, I think Emma counters him pretty easily. It's just a game of chicken. It's like, do I go into Diamond first form first, or do you E first? Like, which one happens? First one to slip up loses. But I do think that he's not quite as strong as some of the other DPS, even though he is like, I think he's a better tank shredder than Wolverine now. But a good Wolverine is fucking terrifying. Iron Man, B tier. With the Gamma team up, he's still pretty strong, but I feel like, you know, as an Emma player, or someone who like plays Mag, like, I don't know, it's super easy to counter him. You just look out for his ult, you Mag suck it up, you Emma shield it. If he tries to ult with one of his support ults and he gets low to the ground, you can CC him, right? You can Penny Web, you can Emma Grab, you can use your Hela stun, Spider Web him, you know, whatever. Oh, and then also, too, some tech that I found out. Invisible Woman, if you just push pull him, he has to flick his ult, and 95% of the time he's missing. Like, if you push pull him while he's in the air trying to ult, he'll be off mark, and then he's like, oh shit, like, I'm about to ult nothing, and then he'll flick really hard to try and like correct, and most of the time they overcorrect or they undercorrect, and they hit the wall. So you don't even really need like any special abilities. You can just fuck him up with invis. Jeff the Land Shark, easily F tier. Fuck that character. No, I'm just kidding. he's a good dive DPS. I think as a support he does pretty okay. I don't know. I'm a little bit biased because I've ran into good Jeff players on my team and on the other team, but I ran into more Jeff players that no comm, refuse to swap, try to force DPS Jeff even when there's only 2 supports, and he's one of them, right? It's like, I ran into more of that than I have good Jeff players. And because of that, I fucking hate Jeff. But he does have a place in the game. He is very strategic. He is good as a triple support going DPS. He has an ultimate that you could use to save your team, that you could use to fuck up the enemy team and get them off point. I'm gonna put him in D tier. He's just not as good as the other strategists, in my opinion. Loki, S tier, without a doubt. Without a doubt, Loki is the second best support in the game, I would say. That he ranks higher than Invis just because he can do insane amount of healing, insane amount of damage, and is just a great playmaker and great at living. And he's anti-dive. So this season especially, he's very strong with his, you know, regenerative domain or his runes or whatever you want to call them, and then the fact that he can snap, go invis, all that stuff. Luna Snow. This season, she has great healing output, but I feel like this season she's kind of like underneath the other supports a little bit just because she doesn't have a lot of mobility. You have to mechanically be good with her freeze to survive. She does have great healing output, and she has like one of the better support ultimates in the game, but I do think that she kind of falls short in terms of survivability in general compared to Loki and Invis. And in this season, with all the dive especially, I think that's a huge factor. Magik is strong, but she's also, like BP, very counterable. The only thing is that I think she has some better mobility. Like, she has upward mobility. She has her portal, which makes her kind of like invulnerable during that phase. And because of that, I think she ranks above BP. Honestly, I think duelist wise, even though she's very counterable this season, I think she's B tier. She does an insane amount of damage. She has a great ultimate. It's just people like Emma, especially. If I grab a Magik and ult and I just tell my teammates, oh, I grabbed her, and everyone focuses her, like she's dead and her ult's wasted. Just by me using my shift cooldown, like you negate one ult. Thing also kind of renders her a little immobile with this smash, so she can't move. But I do think she falls short compared to some of the other duelists this season. Magneto, honestly, A tier. His ult got nerfed, so you get it less, so it's harder to counter cloaks. So it does feel a little wonky this season. But that being said, he has his bubble, which is great for keeping people alive. His shield is still really good, negates damage. He has a great combo where you can left click, right click, left click, melee for like squishies and stuff like that. Insta dead, 250. But he just definitely doesn't feel as strong as like Emma and Groot, to be honest. Mantis, I'm gonna have to put B tier. I think Mantis is better than she was, actually. I feel like people just haven't figured out how to make her work. I do think she is most valid in a triple support comp, but I think she is a little bit stronger than Adam right now because of her sleep. I think her sleep cooldown is shorter than the soul bond, and while soul bond is definitely a better ability, I think for like solo survivability, Mantis trumps, just because, you know, she can just sleep for herself or sleep for a teammate. Also, the fact that you can stack, I think, makes it so you can you can manage your resources better. You don't have to worry about your teammates as much, like all of them at the same time. You could like double proc somebody with a heal and you'd be like, okay, like a tank, and you'd be like, okay, I don't need to look at that tank for 16 seconds. So at that point, you turn around and, you know, you damage amp a teammate, and then you just go back to shooting, and then you damage amp yourself and you just try to get headshots. She has a place in the game, but I think she's a little bit better than Adam overall, and definitely easier to use across all ranks, but not quite as good as obviously these others. Mr. Fantastic. Fuck, this guy's hard to kill. Mr. Immortal number 2, right? Like, you've got Cap, and then you've got Mr. Fantastic. Bro, this guy dead ass, like, he does more damage than you think, especially if you know how to, like, manage his abilities well, right? Like, canceling your big man form, or, kind of like Invis knowing when to grab people and pull them in. But, man, like, this guy's so fucking annoying. As, like, a tank player, you think you've backed up, and it's like, nope, and then he yoinks you back. Or same with a diving DPS. That's another thing, is he's great for anti-dive, because you can E your teammates, or whatever button it is, and give them shield. Yeah, it just makes him so much harder to kill. And then you can, I think when you E enemies, so like if you E the diver, it gives you shield, but it slows them, right? So it makes it harder for them to get out. So he's great this season. He's really strong. Good Mr. Fantastic players, especially as someone who plays like shield tanks. Mag, Strange, Emma. This guy is the bane of my existence. He's so freaking annoying. It's hard to get away. He hits through anything that normally would cover me. Like, makes me want to freaking jump off of a cliff. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's weird. I think he's B tier. He can farm ult really well. He's not really weak, but he's not particularly strong. Like, the best part about him is the fact that he can farm ultimate, and his ultimate does a lot of damage. But even then, it's pretty easy to avoid his ultimate. He can't assassinate people as easily because people know what to look out for. And especially in like this meta with like all the shield stuff, like you've got Emma, Mag, Strange. Like I think it's hard to get value with his hit, because the only way is by taking off angles. But if you get too risky with your off angles in this dive meta, you'll get singled out and you'll get dove, and he doesn't really have the best survivability and movement. Once you've double jumped, you're in the air and you're just gliding. If you grapple, like it takes a while for you to actually get up in the air, and then like the pulling process is kind of quick, but then once you've pulled, you're still just kind of gliding and you're just there, and you're easy to catch up to. You're easy to catch and easy to hit. It's miserable. But his ult is really strong. Namor, dude, I want to say Namor is B tier, but I've been seeing a lot of people give value with Namor recently. I don't necessarily think they get value with him because he's A tier. I think it's just because my teammates are fucking stupid and they don't understand that we need more than just a Bucky, right? Like if I'm playing Emma and we have like a thing, and then for supports, like our supports obviously can't shoot squids as much because they're healing. And then for our DPS, we only have a Bucky, right? And the other one is Magik. Namor is gonna freaking farm the lobby because only one person on our team can shoot his squids. And in my games recently, I've been running into that a lot. I don't necessarily think it's because he's that strong though. I think if you take his squids out, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just the fact that people don't really do it that often. Now I would say in high elo, he's like B-ish, because the gamma squid, in my opinion, is not as good as the slow squid. The slow squid was way better for dive. The gamma beam does a lot of damage and it reaches a further distance, but I think there's more merit in the fact that they would get slowed, because it would allow more teammates to be able to turn around and shoot them before solely relying on the squid to do all the work for you. But in lower elos, I know people aren't shooting those damn squids. And so he's probably getting a lot of value in those ranks. I think Peni is... Dude, look, is Peni? No. Okay, Penny's E tier. She's good anti-dive. She has a good kit, but she has the worst ultimate in the game. I'm about to make a short form video on this too, but Cringe Alarm is like the #1 Peni player in the world, and he has his ultimate keybind unbound. He doesn't even ult as Peni because more times than not, it puts you in a situation where you just end up dying and you can't use any of your kit, like the other parts of your kit while you're ulted. You can't cancel out of your ult. Penny's just really not that good, to be honest. She is a very niche pick and has a niche role in the game. And if someone is really good with her, she can get a lot of value. Otherwise, if you just shoot her nest, she's fucking useless. Psylocke, A tier. Actually, you know what? Psylocke S tier. Fuck, Psylocke is so hard to kill this season. She is so strong. I don't know if it's because of the Emma team up. A mechanically good Psylocke who knows the combo, even without the team up, like, man, people are just getting assassinated. And I feel like even with Loki, like the 5-second cooldown on his runes would not have been enough to make Psylocke S tier, right? Because if you think back to season 1.5, she kind of fell off a little bit. Like, people, you just didn't really see her in lobbies that often. But now it's like, you know, I'm seeing Lord Psylocks and I'm seeing people that, not Lord Psylocks, people that clearly don't have a ton of hours on her, but they're farming. So I like, they didn't really change anything about her, but I don't know. Maybe people forgot how to play against Psylocke or how to counter her, but, and even the thing does counter her pretty well, but she feels really strong this season. So does Rocket. I might have to move some things down because definitely not all of these characters are S tier, right? All right. Let me cook. Rocket is S tier. He is the best healer in the game right now. I don't think they patched it, but check this out. If you're Rocket...
Some of my best friends are crooks and villains. Those guys, I'll patch you up.
And you just spam at the people's feet. Like, look, this bot is going to be very low on health. And I'm going to heal him for 100.
I'll patch you up.
You hear that double proc? That's 100 healing. In a second.
You're ready for
You just keep jumping. And no one dies. It's like he is by far, and his ult is way better this season. It's really easy to shoot.
This
but
is
his ult
real
really strong.
firepower.
And the thing about his ults, if you place it behind a corner or in a place where it's hard for the enemy to get to, you get way more value out of it. Way more value out of it. Rocket by far easily S tier this season. He is so strong. He's so strong. Good for helping your teams live. Also really good for helping himself live, right? Like he can dash and stuff like that. He's just really strong. Scarlet Witch. I'm gonna put Scarlet B tier. Her team up makes her broken. But without the team up, she's kind of meh. Like a good Scarlet will be really good and a bad Scarlet will be really bad. But she's kind of like in the middle. But when she's got that team up active, like she's definitely A. That shit shreds. It's ridiculous that that's even in the game. And the thing about it too is if you use it, the cooldown for it starts to like reset, starts to go down before the ability's even over. So the cooldown's like it's not even actually the full cooldown. It's kind of ridiculous. Spider-Man is B tier. Mechanically, hardest hero in the game, probably. But if you take into consideration that the Thing, Emma, Namor, and Hela, like all just beat the shit out of this hero, to be honest. Like a good Spider-Man obviously is gonna get really good value, especially with the Venom team up. It makes it a lot easier for him to live because he just like trigger that invulnerable state. His combos one shot and stuff like that. In high elo, I'm sure you guys are like, oh, Spider-Man's S tier. He's so hard to kill. For one, if you're playing against a good Spider-Man in like bronze, silver, gold, like they're probably smurfing. Anybody in your rank isn't actually getting like, you know, they're not going 50 and 5 if they're actually like a bronze, silver, gold player. So it's unfortunate, but a lot of people do like make alt accounts because they want to learn Spider-Man and they want to get his movement down without throwing their own elo, which is lame. That being said, there's been games where my team just like didn't know how to deal with Spider-Man and like Emma shift into diamond form completely cancels out his ult. Mr. Fantastic Peel is really good for making him not get away. The Thing completely will slam, render him useless. He can't jump out, web out. Hela, I mean, most people would probably disagree with me, but I play some Hela, and she's a sniper. Sit in the back line, you focus their supports, you take off angles. You can still do that and sit on your supports and wait for Spider-Man. So what I've done in several games that sometimes I would still lose, but they ended up way closer than they would have been if I never swapped to Hela in the first place, is because I swapped to Hela. I have pretty good aim though. And I would just sit on my supports and wait for him to come and dive and like follow his approach. You hit him twice, you completely ruin his approach. He has to go get a health pack. He has to swing back to his supports. It makes him completely useless. So at that point, when he leaves to go get healed or he's waiting for his cooldowns to reset, then you can go to taking off angles again and sniping. And if the Spider-Man tries to target you, you just bird out. Or you just communicate to your supports like, oh, hey, Spider-Man's on me, turn around, blah, blah, blah. With communication, it's really not that hard to take out a Spider-Man, in my opinion. A good Spider-Man obviously is going to be a lot more difficult, but I would say that he's probably B tier. Same thing with Squirrel Girl. I mean, you render her ult useless by shooting it, but even then, it does a lot of damage. If you throw it in a close quarters area, it just bounces really fast, and you're constantly getting those hits. And in general, she does a shit ton of damage. Her cooldowns are really low, kind of ridiculous. She's decent for anti-dive, especially against tanks. It's a lot harder to hit that little stun that she has on some of the smaller characters like Psylocke, Spider-Man, Iron Fist, but on tanks like Cap, Hulk, Venom, Thor, even Wolf, it's pretty easy to get that off on them, and it's really strong too. So she just does a shit ton of damage. Star-Lord is A tier, so easy to farm his ults. Even after the nerf, still with mag bubble combo, literally all you do is you just go in and you know, press your E, and you I was talking to a guy, I think he's actually my friend now, a mutual, but he said that even after the nerfs, he farmed 35% of ult charge in one E once. It's still ridiculous. And if you're good with your movement and stuff like that, he's very strong. Storm, I think Storm's B. She's definitely got some anti-dive in her kit, like popping her E to do increased damage and get those lightning strikes and stuff for people around, and giving your team more damage amp as well, so they die faster. But I think with like Spider-Man, Hela, Hawkeye, people like Mr. Fantastic, Star-Lord, Psylocke, people being in the meta right now, it's just really hard to get a lot of value with her. It's really easy to take storms out of the air. I don't see her in a lot of games, probably mostly because Johnny is banned like every fucking game. I feel like if he wasn't banned, people would play her more just solely for the team up, but I don't see her in a lot of games. And I think that's for a reason. It's because she's meh. Punisher, B tier. He's just like in a neutral spot where like he's always really good for countering certain characters and doing like a lot of consistent damage, especially with the Rocket team up. Like with Rocket team up, he's easily A, but by himself, he's B tier. He has no mobility. He's easy to dive and punish. And unless he's being pocketed really fucking hard by an Invis Luna Rocket, he's really easy to punish. Thor, B tier. You know what? Nah, B tier. He does so much damage. I do think in this meta right now, and as a tank that doesn't really have a shield, with no shield or anything like that, it's really easy to punish a Thor with like Emma. You know, you grab him, you have your team focus them. Groot can counter him. Hela pelts the fuck out of him. Human Torch would pelt the fuck out of him. I feel like it's really easy to punish a Thor, even if they manage their cooldowns really well and do a lot of damage, but he's just not as strong this season. I feel like he's in an awkward state. Same with the Thing. The Thing, I think, is C tier this season. I think he is really weak against Emma. As somebody who plays a lot of her, I farm ult charge off of Thing players. I farm ult charge. Because I'll E him, and then unless he E's out or sprints back, it's like I get free tick off the crystal, and then he's usually pretty slow too and moving, so I just line him and the crystal up, and I get that double ticking, and it just makes my charge go all the way to 100 even faster, making me do max damage almost off rip within the first like 10 seconds of the round. He's good against shield characters. Like, he is good against people like Emma, Mag, Strange, and he's good against anti-dive, but I feel like he's obviously very weak against Groot, right? He gets walled off. It's super easy to punish him, and he's really easy to pelt, right? Hawkeye will fuck him up. Namor can fuck him up. Hela will fuck him up. Torch, right? Like anybody who can just absolutely beam the fuck out of his face. He just feels weird. He feels weird this season. And I definitely see him in a lot less of my games. Venom. Venom's got to go B tier, in my opinion. I think Venom has a great ult for comboing with teammates, but by itself, it's really not that strong. When you combo Venom ult with Groot ult, Emma ult, Luna ult, literally, I mean, almost pretty much Strange ult, Wanda ult, Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, right? Like, you get everyone low, and then someone else just ults, and they just, like, like do the rest of the damage, or vice versa, like someone else ults and then Venom ults. It's really strong. He's also, you know, he's really good at applying pressure, getting in, getting out. Some people think he's the worst take in the game and that he's just like a glorified bullet sponge, but I think if you know how to hit your headshots, he's pretty solid. But you can solo ult people. There is a tech where you dive, you get the knock up, you just right click to get like your fucking strings or whatever attached to whoever's near you, and then you do 2 left clicks, and then if you ult immediately after those left clicks and you pop it right away, the timing with the explosion from your right click and your ultimate line up perfectly and you one shot. So you could solo ult supports like really easily just by doing that. I don't think through a support ult, but if you time the strings right, yeah, exactly. Bucky, I think Bucky's still A tier. I don't know why the fuck they gave him a second charge on his E. I don't know why they did that, but it's ridiculous. Yeah, it made no sense to me. This guy, and he gets shield for every ability he uses. He's so hard to kill. Even as an Emma player, I will grab a Bucky and I will chokeslam him and hit him and kick him into a wall. And even without heals, he won't die because all it takes is for him to use one ability and he shields enough to live. And then usually with him living, gives his support enough time to heal him, and Invis will throw a shield on him, or Luna will use her clap or something. He just like dashes out. It pisses me off every time. That guy, his survivability is fucking stupid. And you know who else's survivability is fucking stupid? Wolverine, I feel like isn't played as much anymore because Groot's always banned and he's a really hard Groot counter. But I think in general, he's just a really insane tank counter. He's not as good as Iron Fist because he does percent damage based on rage, right? So if you have no rage, you're not doing as much damage. Iron Fist does percent damage based on max HP, just across the board, no matter what. So on every tank, he's just doing insane amounts of damage from off rip, which I think has a little more value than just having to try to always keep your rage up, especially with someone who's not quite as mobile and has to rely on a passive. Emma's kind of the same way. As someone, like, I play a lot of Emma, so the best way to get value with her is to keep your charge maxed out as much as possible. I've seen clips even where Emmas have wasted their ultimate while the team is coming back just to keep the primary charge maxed out at 100. Because when you're ulted, it pauses from dipping. But Wolf, I mean, like, he's got his passive. He's really hard to kill. He does a lot of damage. And the ult is really strong if you know how to line it up right. But I don't think, I don't know. I definitely don't think that I definitely think he's like on average, typically like a good Wolf is better than like a good Namor, good Hawkeye, good Magik. My team and I that were screaming for MRC, we were playing the other day. We were playing in some 6-stacks. We went against some Wolf players and holy fuck, they were hard to kill. Part of it came from like the combo with the Mag Bubble. Like Mag Bubble basically makes him invulnerable. It's like, it's almost impossible. Even if you had an invis, he would kidnap somebody and you couldn't pull him because the mag, like they would communicate it and then the mag would bubble him and you couldn't even like pull him back. I couldn't Emma grab him. Like we couldn't CC him at all. It was fucking impossible. And he was just getting so much value. Keeping his rage up like all the time. You know what? But I think because of low elo players and probably their inconsistency with being able to do stuff like that, I will say that I guess he's B tier. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But this is my tier list. I think this is kind of like where season 2 has ended, and in general. And this isn't in order. This isn't on like, oh, like Emma Frost is better than Hela or anything like that. This is just kind of like in general. But this is my take for the standings of the end of the season. If you disagree, let me know. But I will say this is about to change dramatically with Ultron coming out and whatever other changes they make. On top of the fact, I just wanted to touch on, notice like the scaling here. Like all these heroes are generally good, and then you have this, right? Look at the disparity. So when they say if every character is broken, no character is broken, it's like, think of the state of the game right now and how typically if you play against a good person on any one of these characters, how much it shifts the lobby as opposed to this, right? Like, I don't know, it's kind of insane when you think about it. They definitely need to make some changes to ranked because headed in the direction with coming out with a new hero every month. I don't know, this isn't it. Anyway, that's my tier list, and I'll see you guys in the next one.